I buried my husband, and I thought the worst part was over. Then his millionaire boss called me and said, "Come to my office, alone." He added, "Don't tell your son or your daughter-in-law. You could be in danger." My stomach dropped, because why would my own family be a threat? At the funeral, my son and his wife acted like I didn't exist. They made every decision, and people kept consoling them like they were the ones who lost a husband. I heard my daughter-in-law whisper, "She's fragile, we're taking care of everything." Fragile, that word hurt more than the condolences. After the burial, they tried to move me out of my own home. My son said, "It's too big for you. You should be somewhere safer." My daughter-in-law smiled and called it an elegant senior facility. I realized they weren't asking. They were deciding. That night, the boss called again, and his voice was different. He said, "Your husband asked me to speak to you. Only you." I barely slept, because the warning kept replaying in my head. The next morning, I dressed like I still had dignity left to protect. I lied to my son about where I was going, because I didn't trust my own house anymore. When I walked into that glass tower office, I felt small. But the boss looked at me with real concern, not fake pity. He put a thick folder in front of me and said, "This is about your family." Then he told me my husband feared our son and daughter-in-law were trying to control his will and our accounts. I wanted to say it was impossible. But the folder had notes in my husband's handwriting, documenting everything. The pressure, the whispers, the concern, that sounded like a trap. Then the office door opened. My son and daughter-in-law walked in like they owned the room. My son said, "Mom, what are you doing here?" My daughter-in-law said, "We were worried when you weren't home." Worried, or watching. They started talking about money and protecting me. And that's when I asked, "How do you even know about my husband's life insurance?" They froze for half a second. That half a second told me everything. Then I heard a cough from inside the private bathroom. A cough I would recognize anywhere. The door opened slowly. And the man I had buried days earlier stepped out. Alive. My knees almost gave out. My husband looked at me with love and apology, then turned cold toward them. He said, "This was the only way to protect her from you. If you were in my situation, what would you do?" Want to know what I did next, and what happened when they realized I wasn't fragile at all? Tap the related video to watch the full story. Follow and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Quick note. This is a real story submitted by a viewer. Adapted for storytelling. And if you have a real story, send it to us. The next story could be yours.